Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to week 2. So we are going to start focusing on function notation. All right, so let's just get reminded for what a function is. It's a set x that maps to a set y where each element of x maps to exactly one element of y. So you can't have two x's mapped to the same y, right? So if I have 2, 7, I can't have 2, -3. Oh, that's really pretty 3. That is not allowed. All right. So there, you should know this. You learned this in middle school in Algebra 1. How can you represent a function? Instead of y, we call it f of x. So the x, that is telling you what the variable is. So you could do f of happy face. You could do f of y equals 2y plus 7. I like using happy face because, you guys know who I am as a person. That's the ugliest happy face I've ever drawn. All right, so it's like happy face squared plus 1, right? So you can make your variable anything you want. So whatever's in the parentheses is what the variable is in the function. All right, so if we have f of x is 3x squared plus 2x minus 8, find f of 4. So what they're doing is this is where your x typically goes. So we're just going to plug in 4 in for x. So 3, oh no, why are you moving? 3 times 4 squared plus 2 times 4 minus 8. So all this is saying is what is the y value, right? F of 4 is the y value. Y value when you plug in 4. So let's see, that's 16. 3 times 16 is 48. Plus 8 minus 8 is 48. And that's it. So what would f of -1 be? So that's 3 times -1 squared plus -8. So that is 3 minus 2 minus 8. And then that gives me -9. And then f of 0, and you plug that in, is a -8, right? All right, so now let's look at what happens if we're on the graph. All right, so keep in mind that these are your x values. When you plug in an x, you get a y. Always keep that in mind. So this is the x value -2. So I'm going to go to the x value -2, and I'm going to say, what's the y value on the graph? Well, that's a 0. It's just 0. Now -1. So I'm going to go to the x, here's my 0, x value -1, go up to where the graph is. What's the y value there? Looks about 3 to me. So we're going to say it's 3. The x value 1, start at 0, I go to the x value 1, go down to the graph, and that's -3. Now again, because we have these graphs, sometimes it might be a little off. You know how it is. Okay, so if f is a function and f of a equals b, then the point a, b lies on the function. F of a can be understood as the y value. So if I have f of 7 equals -3, all you want to do is remember that the 7 is your x, f of 7 is your y value. So these are just interchangeable. It's just another way of writing the point. The top way, we like it because if we have more than one function. So I can say f of 7 is -3, g of 7 is 8, things like that. All right, so now we're going to get into piecewise functions. A piecewise, think about what word is in the word piecewise. A piece. So it's a function made up of pieces of other functions. All right, so here's an example of a piecewise function. So this is made up of a piece of a parabola, right? So we have this parabola. We have this 0.6. It's kind of funny. It's actually an actual graph. T plus 19 is the... This is not correct. This is not the... Oh, these are two separate examples. Wow. I should look a little closer. Okay, two separate examples. This is example 1A, and this is example B. I'm like, these, I thought it was the same thing. All right, so this piecewise function on the left, it's made up of three things. We've got a parabola, a line, and then this crazy fractional equation. And it gives you which x values or t values you can have for it. The one on the right, it's the graphical representation, and we're going to be looking at both of these. So this one on the right is made up of x squared, a random point, and then the line 10 minus x. So we can look at, we're going to look at piecewise written out as a function like on the left and as the graph on the right. All right, so we're going to evaluate the piecewise function. So it's the same process. I'm going to go to my x value, -3. So I'm going over to -3, and I go up. What's the y value that goes with that? 1. So it's just 1. F of 0. If I'm at 0, I go to the graph, -3. F of -20. Now, think about this one. Is -20, do we have that? No. But look at the function that's on the left function. It's just a horizontal line. So if we went all the way over to -20, what would the y value be? 1. F of 2. So I'm going to go over to the x value 2 and go up to the graph, and it's around 1. F of -1. So this one's a little harder. If I go to f of -1, now which one am I going to go to? There's 2 points there. Well, this is an open circle, so remember it doesn't count. You can't use it. So we're going to go to where the closed circle is. So -2. And f of 1. So go to the x value 1, go where's the graph? Down here, so we just get -2. And that's it. Evaluating is pretty fun, or easy. All right, pause the video. I want you to try this one on your own. So this is just a bunch of lines. So f of -2, so I go to -2, go up to my graph, I get 6. F of 0 is 0, right? You want to look for your closed circle. F of 4, I'm going to go over to 4, up to my graph, and I'm at 4. F of -2, go over to -2, go up, I'm at 6. Oops. -3, go to -3, go up, up. Now that's an open circle, so that doesn't count. I can go down though, so -2 is my answer. And -4, go over to -4. My graph is down here, it's -2. Okay, so now these ones are the ones that are slightly harder. We have to use our brains for this one. It's not quite as easy. So my x value is -5. We have to pick which piece we're going to go to. So if I'm at -5, is -5 greater than -2? Is -5 equal to -2? Or is -5 less than -2? So it's the less than. So we're going to use this top piece. We're only plugging in where the x makes sense. It only makes sense in this top equation. So that's what we're going to plug into. So we're going to do -5 plus 4 to the third. So it's a -1 to the third is -1. Next we have -2. So where does -2 make sense? Well, -2 is not less than -2. -2 is not greater, it's equal to. So we have to go with this function, Now, to plug into a number, you just rewrite the number. So it's just -10, 0. Which piece does 0 plug into? 0 is greater than -2, so I'm going to plug into the bottom. 0 plus 0 minus 1 is -1. And then 3. So 3 is also greater than -2. Plug that in. I get 9 plus 24 minus 1, 33 minus 1, so 32 is my answer. And honestly, guys, this is as hard as it gets. You can't really get harder with this lesson. I'm not going to say it's not going to get harder, but in terms of evaluating. All right, pause the video and try this one on your own. So negative, let me change my color. All right, so -5 goes into, and what I do sometimes is I'll put top, I'll label these like top, middle, bottom. -5 is going to go into the top. 0, now with the 0, where is it equal to? 0 is not less than 0. So we're going to have to do the middle because we have to use this one. 0 is equal to 0. So that's our middle. 2 is between 0 and 3. Right? Between the 0 and 3 is 2. And then the 3 here is also equal to 3. So we have a lot of middles for this one. Middle, middle, and then 5 is greater than 3, so that's our bottom. You don't have to do that. I don't always, but, you know, for funsies. So plugging in -5 into the top, -5 squared is 25. Into the middles, so the middle ones are nice, right? That's just a plain 2 for all of those, because it's a constant, and then plug in 5 into the bottom, and we get -1. And that's it. Very straightforward lesson. Enjoy the homework. I hate to say it, but we're going to be graphing piecewise, and that can be more challenging. Have a fabulous Monday. Welcome to week 2. Email me if you have questions. Have a great day, guys.